Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Good to see you all. Well, I guess not see you, but you know. Anyways, go ahead, Jeremy.
So happy not to see you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to hear you.
Yeah.
Let me just turn Jeremy up a second. Jeremy, say words.
Words, does this sound any better?
Yeah, that's better.
Rockin'. Yeah, I think the last time we talked, actually, my setup was even worse, so hopefully I sound better this time.
You do. You sound like you're in a toilet, but it sounds like a nicer toilet than the last one.
Rockin', I'll take what I can get.
If you found his home office.
Cool beans. All right, well, let's get this show on the road, because I know we're running a bit late.
Are you all running around PTS right now by chance, or do you want?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Kay are in Gonfalon.
I'm in Costa del Gratwood.
We are hanging out in the Vastyr outskirts way shrine. If you all want to hop over, it's the one right outside the city. It should be unlocked.
And then while you're jumping, I'll give you the
The spiel.
broad strokes, but you will probably know this better than I do. So this is Firesong DLC. It is update 36. That's right, 36. It's crazy that we have been around that long. It's our 8th year. We've got hundreds of thousands of NPCs, thousands of quests. We just recently broke over 200,000 lines of VO per language. We are in the Guinness Book of World Records for the most number of NPCs. And that was years ago, so I think we've really crushed that record now. But, you know, be curious to see. As we know, we've got a little something for everybody. Battlegrounds, Cyrodiil, Dungeons, Trials, Housing, Antiquities, Companions, a whole bunch of things. This is Firesong, though. This focuses on the new zone, which is called Galen. Galen and the zone story are going to conclude our year of Legacy of the Bretons storyline. This is 15 hours of new story content, 6 new mythic items. 6 new items, 3 new mythic items. A bunch of collectibles, furnishings, and dyes, some new achievements, as well as titles. And then for those of you that like Tribute, we have a new deck, the Druid deck, which is a patron deck. Base game improvements, because we always do things to the base game in addition. One of the things that I think is super cool is target markers. I was actually using that today in a trial. It was kind of fun to actually be able to see the 2 different tanks. We also have text-to-speech. That is a new accessibility option, so that should make it easier for people that have difficulties. Hiding pets is, I think, something that people are going to really enjoy. It basically is a toggle. It defaults to off, but you can turn it on, and then that annoying bear will be gone when you approach the crafting station. It is not actually the entire city. It is more based on proximity to annoying things. For example, the crafting station. I said that weird. Possibilities for annoyment while you are working on, various bits. So a few things for housing as well. Chat links to the home I think is going to be really fun, as well as giving an opportunity for furniture lists for people that love the decorations in a house. As well, this is the 4th quarter. That means it's the end of our story arc. So we have 2 capper quests. Those quests are available if you've completed High Isle, as well as the new Firesong DLC. The more of the year of content you have created, the more you will see, but those are the only 2 required things. And we are pretty excited to bring that big story to its conclusion, but I'll let Jason speak to that. Honestly, that's pretty much it. Release date, PC, Mac 11.1, consoles 11.15. I'm going to turn it over to Jason and then just mock him from now on.
I'm going to mock Jeremy first. Every time you give the dates, I think you give them backwards because we do dates differently in America. So I think you're like, am I right in that? Like 11.1 for us is 1.
Oh, you are totally
You are-
I should be saying November. Oh,
We
damn
do
me.
day then month.
You are right.
Yeah.
You're right in saying they're
You're right.
different, but you're not right in saying you're right. You're wrong.
Right, fair enough. It's not January 11th, where it's not the 15th month. All right.
Jeremy
Yeah,
told the
these are
last
coming
group
out
that
in
too,
November.
so I was like, man, I hope they're not all confused now, but that's fine.
Oh, I ain't be that way. Good to hear. All right, Jason, take it away.
Sure. So my first question, how many of you have already played through everything on PTS?
No, I
I
leave the
have
story.
not been on yet.
Okay. But have
I
you...
have not done it yet.
All right. You've explored,
Yes.
though? Run around? Okay, cool. All right. I know, like, a lot of times, like, you all are obviously really in on everything and probably have watched ESO lives or the media things and stuff like that. So a lot of this is going to cover a lot of that same stuff, but we'll try to make it a little bit more fun. And as always, if any of you have questions as we're going along, I always like to make these more kind of conversational. So feel free to just interrupt me and be like, "Hey, I got a question," or "Hey, I have a comment about this." It's fine. Like I said, this is more meant to be. I am your tour guide, and I will give you the dry history and the fun and all that of everything. But by all means, at any time, if you all have any questions, let me know. All right. And on that note, so welcome to Galen. This is the northern island of the Sisters Archipelago. This, obviously, with our chapter, we explored High Isle and Ominos. This was our first chance to really dive into Galen, which is the home of the Druids. The big thing is, it's a legacy of the Bretons this year. We want to dive into the history of the Bretons, where they came from, and all that fun stuff. And a lot of their kind of background and ancestry is connected to Druids. And that's one of the big things and themes that we play with, not only in the main story of the DLC, but as Jeremy mentioned too, the capper quests, or the bonus quests as we call them, which it will kind of resolve everything at the end of the year when you have completed both the main story for High Isle and the main story for Firesong. We are standing outside of House Mernard's main city, or in the capital city of Galen, Vastyr. This is run by House Mernard, who is one of the noble Breton houses of the Isles. Their symbol, or their house symbol, is the hound, which is kind of cool. I like their colors. Dig their armor set. House Mernard is, I would say, like, Gonfalon Bay is very kind of like the resort town of House Dufort. In the, luxurious and nobles, people go on vacations there and have a grand old time. Vastyr, I would say, is more the working class. This is a city of people, of traders and dock workers and shippers and pirates and things like that. So it's definitely not as grand and noble as Gonfalon Bay, but it's still a nice city. As we head over to the southeast here, one of the big differences is a lot of the city was built around old, ancient kind of Druid architecture. Part of that is the Druid district, which is over here to the east, and this is kind of the home base within the city, anyways, of the Stone Lord Druid. Obviously, we met the Stone Lord in the chapter. They play a very heavy role here. This is, again, since it's the home of Druids, this is kind of their home base. House Mernard, I wouldn't say they're allies of each other, but they accept each other. They help each other out throughout the storyline. But yeah, just a lot of kind of cool Druid architecture, lots of various stone engravings, which we really played up throughout the zone. As we go further north, you'll see that as well. But they play kind of a really integral role of the city itself, and just working with House Mernard to provide potions and trade and whatnot. So we'll head over here really quick to the north. I think Jeremy mentioned this. One of the new additions to this release is the addition of the Druid King deck for Tales of Tribute. I always lose where the N is. Oh, it's right here. If you want to go play a game of Tales of Tribute and you've done the quest line, you will be able to come into here and challenge your opponents. You also get to chat and work with our buddy Razum Dar, who we haven't seen in a while, who makes his triumphant return. Everyone loves Raz. I love Raz. We have a complicated relationship, though, but I won't go into that. But yeah, you'll unlock. Speaking of the Tales of Tribute, so if you want to come and play in Galen, you got your opponents over here. There may or may not be one of the founders hidden in the zone to challenge, just like we do in High Isle itself. But you'll unlock the deck by basically playing the content, doing the quests, world bosses, delves, things like that. You'll unlock all the fragments for that, as well as find the hidden cards and upgrades and whatnot. So that is that. Bye, Raz. See you later. And then we'll stop by one other quick thing. My favorite thing of this release. I am sure you are already aware of what I'm going to. The stables, and my favorite thing, petting animals and interacting with them. I don't know how many new animations we added this release, but it seems like every time we do a new update, we make it so you can interact with more animals, just in general. This time I think it's like a horse, a cow, our dogs, our cats. Pretty soon you'll be riding on dolphins if our team continues to have their way. But we wanted to, because it's just, oh, yeah. And because it's just a fun thing, we want to add an achievement to it, the best of friends. So we've actually made updates to this. It used to be just like find all the animals and pet them, and you'll unlock an achievement, which actually unlocks a fragment of the Druid deck. But now, if you actually pull up the achievement, we've made like a little scavenger hunt out of it. So it's similar to how kind of like the sky shards are, where you'll get a little hint as far as where the creature might be, because we have so many dogs and cats and stuff throughout the world. We want to make sure that you don't have to run up to every single one of them and try to pet them. But I mean, you could do that too if you want. But yeah, that's just one of our mini kind of fun achievements we always add. Like the design team always we brainstorm and put our heads together to try to figure out, what are some fun achievements that players can do that are different and kind of outside the typical go kill everything and go do these quests and all that. But yeah, that's one of my favorite new achievements in the game. And yeah, like I said, just expect probably more and more of those as time goes on. So we'll head out here the North Gate as I'm fighting off a cough really quick to go explore the actual overworld.
As should be noted, this is one of our cities. Our cities are hubs. There's going to be your standard dailies, your standard crafting, banks, etc. This is the point where we want players to be able to find each other. So this is all the services you've come to know and love from our capital city.
All right. So now we are on the outside of the city, in the southern portion of Galen. So the southern portion has a lot of similarities to High Isle itself. This is definitely the most kind of civilized of the areas. Just in the fact that House Bernard has made its presence known along the eastern coast. If we were to go that way, they have a port and some various little small settlements and whatnot. So you're going to have a lot of similarities and kind of a very similar feel to High Isle. The volcanic vents make a return from High Isle. Every time we do a DLC, we want to make sure that we have group content in it as well. There's a very active volcano if you pull up your map and look to the southeast on the Isle of Ithlon. That plays a very important role in the story and the end capper / bonus quest story as well. So of course, it makes sense that we're going to have volcanic vents and world events here that make a return, and those will be involved with. We actually have a set of dailies and whatnot to do those, as per usual. So if we head up here to the north a little bit and take the road, we will kind of start heading into more of the Druidic area. As I'm sure you've seen, the Chimera, our buddy here, is one of our new creatures. We really, I think for this, we always have a lot of fun kind of thinking up new monsters in general. Like, what are we going to introduce to the world? How does it fit in with the lore? Like, we do a lot of deep diving into like old lore books and looking at old previous Elder Scrolls games and stuff when we're figuring this stuff out. But the Chimera is one of those things that we want to kind of take a twist on the classical kind of Greek mythological creature, and do our own kind of Elder Scrolls twist. We actually did a ton of variations. We have some really funny like art of different types of monsters when we were concepting this out, and like throwing random Elder Scroll monster heads on these creatures just to see what they look like. And yeah, there's some pretty funny results, but this ended up being, kind of doing our own take of the griffin, the lion, and the wamasu was kind of where we landed, and I dig it. It's one of my favorite creatures.
Turned out freaking awesome. It's personal opinion, but yeah.
Yep. The world boss over in the east is definitely, obviously a much stronger version of the one we just walloped in 2 hits, but yeah, it's always cool to just bring new creatures into the fold and all that. So as we kind of work our way north here, one of the big things, again, we've mentioned druids several times. A lot of the quests really kind of revolve around and explore the belief of the druids, where they've come from, their culture, why they do what they do, and our delves also kind of explore into it. This is Fawn's Thicket over here. Bye, wolves. See you later. And this is kind of our little introduction to one of our druid friends. Once these guys die here. Bad wolves. Bad wolves. Alright. There we go. Hey, we may even be able to take a world boss down today. We haven't been successful in any of these groups yet.
I was
Do
about
it.
to
It's
think
done
we
already.
might want to go for the Chimera.
Do it.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I have
Let's hit
faith.
the forestry when we
Yeah.
on it.
No, well, yep, we'll hit that. But anyways, as I was saying, so we'll meet our druid buddies here. In this case, we meet Mohair, the baby fawn. You'll explore a little bit about why they are in danger in this area. It has to do with kind of their food sources and the wolves kind of coming in. But again, just fun little stories, really diving into the druid background and mythology of everything. So expect to see a lot of those. So let's just head up north here. Find the road. It's dark out. Of course it's dark out. There we go. Alright, get everyone back on track. Cool. Alright, so as we head north, we start to kind of get into our second biome region, when I'm facing the right way, sorry. Which is more of kind of the, I call it the resort, beautiful area of like, this is where you would go like on a vacation. You're still in kind of very foresty nature area, but you start to enter into places with like hot springs and calderas and flowing rivers, and the forest gets a little bit thicker, and you see a lot more of the druid architecture and stone carvings and all that as you approach through here. We are actually going to cut through an area known as Ifri's Path. This is a sacred area to the druids. You'll actually work with the Eldertide druids, who, if you remember from High Isle, were a bunch of big meanies and kind of crazy. They're still big meanies here, but they're not as overly hostile. You'll meet with their leader and kind of understand their view on things. They're very kind of distrusting of outsiders, and you'll understand why. But as we go through here, you will notice a once sacred druid site is no longer sacred. It kind of got the purple haze, purple rain thing going on, and there's clearly some sort of corruption going on. One of the themes that we kind of tackle is, what happens when you have kind of these sacred rituals and grounds and areas that you live in, and people kind of start to come in from the outside or just anywhere and kind of mess with that. This particular objective has a very big kind of secret underneath all of this that we won't spoil. but outside influences have clearly shifted things around and caused this strange kind of pollution to the area. So you'll kind of take a deep dive into that and figure out what's going on. So we'll make our way through here, kill this guy by crocodile. Alright. Mount on up and continue to head north and northwest. And get to some of my favorite newcomers who have joined the zone here. Let's head up here first. So yeah, so if you kind of look to the west, you'll see again lots of old kind of Breton architecture, areas that have been long abandoned and kind of reclaimed for various purposes. And one of those purposes is the sieging and occupation of the shores of one of my favorite races, the Maormer, the Sea Elves. So in this particular case, we're encountering the Dreadsail. As you're familiar with, they played a part in the Trial and Dungeons. They're kind of notoriously bad guys. And they are sieging kind of the island itself and really being a pain in the butt for House Renard. They're more organized than usual. They're attacking strategically. It's kind of out of character for them because in a lot of ways they've always been these pillaging band of pirates that roam the countryside and cause lots of chaos. But now they're almost more militaristic in a lot of ways in their attacks. So you kind of figure out, or dive into why they're doing what they're doing and, seeing what they're up to. But they're not the only Maormer on the island. There is another group that you will encounter known as the Gilded Blade, who kind of are at odds with the Dreadsail. They very much have a different belief than this group does, and they are led by one known as Captain Seravine, a Sea Elf pirate captain, who may join you on your adventures, which I'm super excited about. We don't tend to do a ton of friendly Sea Elves, and I wouldn't necessarily call her friendly, but she's helpful. A means to an end type of thing. If you look down here, this is some of the Maormer docks. You'll go explore there. You can obviously go down there anytime if you want. But again, kind of when you dive more into figuring out why they're here and what they're up to, you will definitely be over in that area exploring down in those ships to see what they're up to. So we'll continue to head north here a little bit. Keep an eye out. We do have one of the things we brought back this release that we haven't seen from Deadlands is wandering world bosses. They will kind of spawn up and wander throughout the zone. This is one of the areas that they can wander through. It's a bunch of giant Spriggans that will stomp on your face. I don't see one right now, but they're out there somewhere, waiting to kill someone. We'll take a quick detour here into one of my favorite areas of the zone, Glimmer Tarn. This is the home of the Stone Lore. So, as we mentioned, they do have a presence within Vastyr itself, but this is kind of where they truly call home. This is, again, one of my favorite places, just because of the amount of ornate druid architecture, furnishings, things for anyone who's really into housing. A lot of these items you'll be able to put in your house with Firesong. Again, you see kind of the stone carvings up near the waterfall of the Druid King Kasserun. His history is how he was once the leader of all the Druids of Galen. He plays, or his history plays, an important role in the storyline itself, so you kind of take a deep dive into that. Xynode found Rufus, another one of our little friends here that will unlock the achievement. Spoiler alert. Those are the only two I show you. You'll have to find the rest on your own if you haven't already. There are multiple Rufuses when people pet them. We're working on that, but everyone gets a Rufus. So enjoy it.
No.
I thought we fixed Rufus, but Rufus is up to no good. He's always getting into the druid spells, causing
He just can't
mischief.
get enough attention.
Yeah, exactly. Always causing mischief and mayhem. But yeah, so you'll come to the Glimmer Tarn a lot throughout the story. You interact with the Stone Lore quite a bit. One of the main characters from the prologue quest, if you've played that, and the Dungeons DLC, Druid Laurel is one of our main characters. She has an important role throughout the story as well. So we'll cut down east here, so we make our way out of Glimmer Tarn. I always get turned around in here. Druids love their rocks and architecture. So head out here. Cool. And then we'll start making our way northeast to my my favorite biome we've done in a while, kind of favorite region, in the jungles of Galen. This is to like one of the goals that we really wanted to do when we made this area was we kind of pitched it to the art team. We were like, listen, Galen itself is meant to be kind of undisturbed by the hands of man in a lot of ways. Like the druids live there, they have their, everything that they have, but we really wanted to let's head this way on this road up here. We want to make sure it feels like parts of it feel very unlived in and crazy and chaotic, and so as we approach and kind of look upwards, you'll kind of see the towering trees as it gets thicker and thicker. These trees are as tall as some of the mountains, and a lot of the flowers are as tall as us. And it finally, I think, to me at least, this is the most heavily forested area we've done since Grotwood and Malbaltor and all those areas from the base game. It feels like an area you could get lost in as you're kind of roaming around. One of the other additions that I'm super excited about that is one of our returning characters is Quinn from our Thieves Guild. We haven't actually seen Quinn in a long time. This is her first return since the Thieves Guild. We love Quinn. I know a lot of players really like Quinn and the cast of the Thieves Guild in general. So you will join her on a little heist involving the Sea Elves as you kind of play through her adventure. If you've done the Thieves Guild, she remembers you, as we try to do with all of our returning characters. And if you haven't, this is kind of her first quest as she's trying to make her way into the Thieves Guild and kind of prove herself. So, always try to, whenever we're doing returning characters and stuff like that, it's always a fun little challenge of writing those in a way so it feels good as a returning player. But if, you're experiencing for the first time, it wouldn't make sense if she's like, oh, hey, old friend. But yeah, Quinn definitely has a very unique and fun adventure of her own. So we will head over towards the world boss here, since it seems like we're up for the task, and see our second new creature, the Forest Wraith. The best way I can describe the Forest Wraith is basically if you took the embodiment of death and evil and infused it inside of a nature spirit, but not in a necromantic way, but more in a druidic way. The Forest Wraith is essentially what you would end up with, a creature of hate who just wants to destroy everything in their path, pretty much. Let me make sure I got potions on my bar here. All right, let's see if we can do this, team. I out of all the groups we have, I trust this group the most.
It's dead.
So...
Extra.
Yes. All right, let's do it. I'm not this is a temp character. This is not my regular character, so I'm not specced out the way I usually am. So
you got all your excuses out already?
All my excuses. I'm already delivering them. I have a checklist.
I can't see my cooldown timers.
Oh no add-ons. Yeah, I don't have my companion.
I don't use add-ons. You're fine.
True experience.
You gotta kill that, otherwise it's immune.
Yep. Get the Spriggans, and I got all these little spider friends. We're already doing much. We did this with a group the other day, and I swear this thing sat at 90% health for 5 minutes. We eventually were like,
kind of immediately.
Yeah. We were like, all right, we're just, you know what? We're just gonna move on. Don't worry about it. This is much more promising. This is roll
it's
through.
Fun to make cool new characters, cool new monsters, and this is one of them.
Oh,
it turned out really well.
Oh, we're doing good. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Alright, I got this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is easy mode. We need to buff this, clearly, Jeremy.
Alright, I'm
40
gonna
million
tell Finn.
health. Do that.
Yeah. Triple its damage, give it 10 times more health. Call it a day. I
Oh,
want
that's fun.
death and destruction next time we come to this. Cool. So yeah, so that was the Forest Wraith, or what's left of the Forest Wraith. You'll learn a little bit more about their origins and how one of their possible ways of coming into being and all that. So through some of our quests. But yeah, let's now that we got our achievements on PTS, because those are important. Head over down to the south. Oh, I don't know if anyone saw the
Whoop.
swinging monkey just now.
I saw him.
Yeah. So those are little friends. Just beyond, they like to throw stuff. We
Whoa.
don't say
Oh,
what.
there he is.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. I'm always like, they're swinging monkeys. I promise, and then I can never find them. And now I need to remember.
Oh, he's
Oh yeah. He is. Yeah. Stupid little monkey. He couldn't show up any other time, but now he's gonna show up 18 times. I see how it is. Anyways, as I just keep seeing him swing now, he's definitely showing off. So as we continue kind of into the jungles itself, there's definitely, you start to see more of the effects of the volcano of the area kind of pushing through. This was cool because obviously we've done a lot of volcano stuff in the past, with Morrowind and Stone Falls and other areas and all that. But, we really wanted to take where Morrowind in a lot of ways is the Dunmer kind of build around the volcano and the ash, and it's kind of part of who they are. This is kind of more of an emergent thing. This wasn't always there, so it's kind of more sudden and just kind of ravaging the land and popping up and kind of merging. What happens when you take something with the jungle and then it all of a sudden all the stuff starts popping up throughout everywhere. As you noticed, and you jumped in the lava. It gave damage. I'm sorry to steal your thunder, Jeremy, but the lava will actually hurt you now.
I was testing that actually.
Yeah. That's we should have included that in one of our base game features.
You can have heal it.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. It's not that hot of lava.
If you want to stand there all day, you can out heal it.
Yeah, it's lukewarm lava.
Okay.
Like lava.
Bath lava.
It'll give you a tan. Maybe a first-degree burn. All right.
All right, let's peek that one too. Man,
All
this is a useful interview.
Yeah.
Pop my bathing towel on. There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's more like the sauna. Go to the hot spring, enjoy, get a little relaxing in. All right. We will continue to head east a little bit. Yeah, we'll head over here. So as we mentioned, we've kind of seen the stone lore. We've talked about the Evertide, but then there's the Fire Song. The Fire Song are very much of the belief that ever since the groups have kind of broken apart to form the Evertide, Fire Song and Stone Lore, that they really should be reunited, and they have good reasons for it. I'm not going to spoil those, but they really want to kind of recrown a new Druid king and unite all the Druids under kind of a singular Druids of Galen banner again. So this is kind of where they make their home base. There's an area just east of us called Ivyheim, which is kind of their home. And they, as kind of, keeping with the theme of everything wants to kill you here, they also want to kill you. They don't like outsiders very much. But yeah, it's cool to explore. We haven't done a ton with Fire Song. We kind of first saw them introduced in the dungeon and then the prologue itself. And kind of deep diving into their lore and their history was kind of a cool, fun thing that we were getting to do with this release. Otherwise, we wouldn't have called it Fire Song. That would have been silly. I killed him before he used his, I call it the lava surfboard, where they jump up and kind of ride a giant lava boulder. And here's my favorite new creature, the frog. I almost forgot my little buddy here. Well, he's dead now.
Always
So
gotta have one.
I'll never forget him now. The pour one out for him. But yeah, so there's a joke if you're familiar with me about how I put frogs in all my releases. The lava frog is in fact my idea. I put it down when we were figuring out what type of creatures we wanted to add to the zone. And we always kind of go through like a long list and kind of cut it down and figure out what we want to support, what makes sense. And everyone laughed at my frog when I was like, I want to do a lava frog. They're like,
Still do.
yeah, they're like, no, Jason, no, we're not doing any more frogs. And I was like, everyone loved frogs in Blackwood. All right, we need more frogs in the game. And we had tons of cool like ideas and different sketches for different things and like whatnot. And then the concept team actually went back and they did all the sketches for everything. And lo and behold, what was the coolest creature out of them all? The frog. So I won.
It did turn out really cool. I was still knocking for it, but it still looks cool.
You're setting your stamp there. It doesn't matter how many things get changed along the way. I did that.
Yeah, exactly. The frog, I will gladly claim. Like the idea of the frog, I am not an artist. I don't want to claim credit for making him look awesome or anything like that. I was just like, give me a cool frog. Give me a volcanic magma frog. That's all I want. But yeah, so I take credit for the frog, and I will have a frog at every release. Or that's my plan going forward. I don't know if that'll actually work, but we'll try. All right, so let's see. Let's head over. You know what? We'll head to the south a little bit here. I don't think we can cut directly through, but we can kind of work our way around. We have another delve just south of us.
You lost everybody.
Oh no!
We were
All right.
looting Shalks on PTS because we need to.
Yeah, I know, because you need those. Those are valuable resources. Here's some Firesong friends. Their new looking gear. Head down this way. Yeah, we'll head to the south here. Let me kind of checking through my notes here too. Seeing. So yeah, so lots of cool Firesong stuff. Wandering World bosses, which we touched on. I'm trying to find. There's a Spriggan that kind of hangs out around lava. Oh, I created my daily endeavor on PTS.
It's across from the delve.
Is it? Okay, cool. Let's head down that way. Let's head south.
That trap.
It is a trap.
That was sneaky.
There we go. Let's see if we can find our Spriggan friend. Another, again, kind of fun little achievement that we added in. No, I feel bad. They're just resting by the lava here. The slightly warm lava that you can heal through. Now that I know that. Watch out for the plants. It might not actually be up. Just my luck. Another player came in. Oh, did you find it?
No, I remember. It's over here. You swing a left.
Jeremy comes here on PTS every day just to kick the Spriggan into the lava.
That's
He's
right.
like, I remember.
Yeah, he's right here. I'm pretty positive.
Is that? Where is it up there? Is that it?
Yeah. Sorry, I fell off the rock. Yeah, I think it's right there.
Oh, yep, it is. All right, I'll let someone else do the honors.
Go on, Xynode.
What do I have to do? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
get that.
There you go. Poor. Yeah, that poor Spriggan. I can't believe you would do that. Oh, hey, look. I think it's.
They won't pay back.
Well, that guy's not going to be telling us to kick any more Spriggans off. Oh, well. Well, there, you got another achievement. So yeah, just we like adding fun little quirky things like that. But, oh, now I'm stuck on this tree. Let me go around. Let me take... So we can continue on south, see if we can get a good view of the volcano. Say hi to our monkey buds hanging out here on the rock. Go down this way. So yeah, another kind of point of interest down there. We're next to Invervine, which is a pretty cool delve that is really kind of shows off the whole like fire meets jungle type of setting. The Firesong are doing stuff and up to no good over there as well. And you find out a little bit more about that. Can you see the volcano from here? I'm looking the wrong way, so that doesn't help. Let's go take out these Soul Razor guys here, causing mischief and mayhem.
Oh, the hollow armor. They look really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you stand up, they're a little... So you can kind of see the volcano from where I'm standing, looking to the southeast. Well, not anymore. You can't. I can still see it. Yeah, just to kind of cover on it too. So, we talked about the capper / bonus quest. We're super excited for it because it is the culmination of High Isle and Fire Song. We are going to figure out, why the Ascendant Order is doing what they're doing and who the Ascendant Lord finally is, and how that's all connected to the Druids and the volcano, and they all have a role to play. I'm super excited. I keep telling people this without spoiling anything. The end quest for the finale is something that we haven't really ever done before to the extreme way that we're doing it. So I'm really excited for everyone to get in and play it. That's about as much as I can say without spoiling anything on it. But yeah, super stoked for everyone to finish the storyline. We're really proud of it, and getting all the characters back together, plus the new characters you meet. They all play a major role. Have Lady Arabelle will come back from High Isle. See the Alliance leaders, Jakar, and all those fun things, and then meet. Well, not meet. If you've done the prologue, you'll also have some returning characters. Have you all done the prologue?
If I say yes, do I not get told off?
Oh, I mean, if you don't care, I don't want to spoil anything.
No, I haven't done it just yet. I will.
All right. Well, there's a character there that I'm very excited about who makes a return, and plays a pivotal role in both storylines. So that is all I will say. Let's see, Jeremy, is there anything that you can think of that you would like to add before we switch it over and let them start grilling us?
No, I think you did a great job. Yeah, nothing I can think of that we didn't talk about.
Cool. We will open it up and give you all about 15 minutes or so to ask questions and about whatever you want. And Jeremy and I will do our best to answer that. Who wants to go first?
Shh.
Are y'all going to be shy?
You're
Don't-
so good at explaining
Yeah,
that. I'm
you-
like,
you-
do I have any questions? Because that was super thorough.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. You don't have to have questions, but yeah, no, we're always excited to show it to people. We spend a year or more, planning these things and then executing them, and we can't say anything. So this is always fun for us to get a chance to check things out. But yeah, if you don't got anything, that's cool too, and we can always ask later.
Yeah, we can go kill the other world boss.
Do it.
And get the... All right.
Sure.
And ask questions.
Yeah, yes, think of questions.
I like how we go from what we're most used to on High Isle, but then straight into a jungle. Like you went through that cave, and then suddenly it's vines and jungle trees and a whole different biome and a different vibe to it. That was very, very cool.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. Oh, no, did someone kill... Oh, he's still there. Okay, he's there. He's scared. All right, we're good. Yeah, that was more challenging than we realized. Like, how do you make a smooth transition from, where we're standing in now versus, all of a sudden you're in a jungle? The art team spent a lot of time working on that, so I will pass that on. Oh, were you all not ready?
I got hit by a budgie.
Ah. All right.
Yeah, we sort of invoke him.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, it's always fun to
Good
actually
thanks.
try and do the different types of biomes, because we wanted to make sure that things don't look the same. But yeah, it's
Look at
interesting.
that.
The last few zones, we've definitely run into issues.
That
Yeah,
boss
alright.
is
That's so cool.
absolutely banging.
So cool.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
it
is
is.
my favorite one. Yeah. All right, who's
I feel
tanking?
really
It's going
bad for
for
killing
me.
him so quick.
All right, does anyone have a companion character that's a tank?
No.
I think we'll be fine.
Dawn's companion's dead.
As usual.
Dawn's companion was the tank.
Mirry.
No, yeah, was it Bastion? Bastion always dies. I'm gonna.
Cassian's
It's Miri
stinky.
usually is reliable. Come on,
You just
Miri, you're better
get
than
jumped. Companions get one shot.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Oh, we just bring companions to torture them. That's all. I see how it is.
I got him.
All right. There we go. This dude's awesome.
Yeah, it's very
Inbring.
cool. This is one of the coolest enemies, and I know this is going to be somewhat of a biased statement, although other people might agree. This is one of the coolest enemies since the original Manticoras.
I agree. Yeah,
the Manticoras
Manticoras
from Craglorn were awesome, and this one does
Uh-huh.
feel kind of the same sort of scale, and well, he's quite intimidating, to be fair.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no! Do we actually have our first death?
Oh no!
Oh no,
Uh,
I didn't dodge.
Quick, get up! No one will notice.
Death
Kill
number
her
2.
Rip.
Alright.
Healing.
You die, you get kicked from the stream team. It's over.
That's
No!
I'm gonna have a full report to Gina after this.
So
In
my
defense, I'm a squishy healer. That's my
Yeah.
fault.
So it's the tank's fault. The
Yeah,
tank's fault.
Yeah, blame the tank.
Heavy.
Are the chimeras natural, or have they been created by some kind of dark magic, or are they just natural to this area?
The endling ender.
I mean, I would say it's kind of a combination. Like, unless I'm gonna hold off on making a joke about 3 animals somehow mating to have a child, but it's a combination. I would say there's a little bit of wild magic involved in it. I'm pretty sure we go into some more in-depth explanations in some of the books and stuff like that, as far as how they came about. We actually a little behind the scenes about the chimeras, like they're kind of, as we were developing their lore and their history, a lot of it changed over time as the story was kind of being made and we progressed with that. So their purpose in the story changed a little bit. So it's kind of shifted over the past couple of months, and yeah, I want to say we landed on kind of a combination of both. The writers, if we had a writer here, could confirm or deny that. But yeah, it definitely, the Chimera went through a lot of iteration. It just, yeah, like I was saying earlier, we had some really like kind of funny ideas of like, what does a chimera look like, and random Elder Scrolls monster heads on a beast, and what would they look like, and things like that. So there was a lot of experimenting, but where we ended up, I think, is awesome. Like they're definitely one of my favorite, and I'm not just saying that because this is I was the lead of this DLC, and I can't. Can I claim credit for Chimera? I don't know.
You've
I'm
got
not going
frogs,
to.
dude.
I was actually gonna say my 9-year-old son claims credit for it.
Ah,
well,
rip.
Jeremy's son. There you
Because
go.
when we were talking about monsters in the new zone, and I asked him, that was one of the ones he suggested. I'm not actually going to say he deserves it. I am going to say he claims it.
Yeah, because then
So,
we'd
yes,
have to pay him.
It's either him or Jason. Right? Yeah, exactly. NDA, of course. But yeah, it turned out to be an awesome thing. One of the things that we also wanted to make sure that was clear is that they're not native here, which is one of the reasons we're saying that they were creative, because they're freaking awesome and we want to be able to use them elsewhere. So they are a sorcerer's creation, but then they have escaped naturally. So
Jeremy just gave a sneak
effectively,
peek.
they are naturalized. I'm not saying we
from?
have planned them elsewhere, but I think they're freaking awesome, and I don't want to build a one-off, to be blunt.
Yeah.
Different types of chimeras. That would be cool.
I definitely, yes, we've had that thought.
I just want
they're so cool.
I want a
Oh, no.
chimera with 3 frog heads.
So there's more
Yeah.
complicated chimeras instead of mixing a lizard egg, a bird egg, and a lion egg?
Well, in mythology, they can be a number of different kinds. I actually did a fair amount of research. Yes.
Yeah.
So where you typically see, that's just the one that's kind of the European accepted. But there's a whole bunch of different ones, and often they have a snake's head on their tail and things like that.
Yeah, there's a scorpion tail I've seen before in some versions. Like, yeah, there's lots of cool versions, but ours is the best. So, I'll take
Unequivocally.
yeah. The very best. So there's a little behind the scenes fact for for the Chimera and their origins. Frogs are just cool. They have frogs. So yeah, every frog, every release. Make
But
it happen.
is this the zone where you hear the person?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a spoiler, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's his frog, and every now and again I'll give him props. We have a random distraction where you see a frog, and I want to say a female's voice is like, and you kill the frog, and the person pops out. You have saved them.
It's as you do.
Okay.
Something that happens in the jungle, as it were.
They're like, oh, it's so cute.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Be one with the frog. That's my
That
theory.
would be me. Hello, little frog. Hello, little dangerous animal.
Yeah. Now you are inside the frog's belly. Yep. Cool. Do y'all have any other questions or anything you want to bring up? Again, we have a little bit of time, and I'm more than happy to try to answer anything you all may have been curious about or anything like that.
What prompted the changes to the most recent DLCs and chapters in terms of how dynamic the world looks? Is that due to hardware access, or is it due to the fact that you just wanted to introduce?
Move out of the way!
Is it due to the fact that you just want to introduce some more dynamic stuff in the world? Because you've got the boats that are moving, you've got the sea puppies, you've got the monkey swinging, you've got all types of different things that you can either look at or interact with outside of the plain. Here's some rocks and trees, and that's been something that's happened a lot more recently. What initially prompted that? Because that is quite a change to the world of Elder Scrolls as we previously knew it.
Tech.
It is tech, is it?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we had a not a big one, but a small piece of tech that allowed us to use mounted NPCs in theater. So they're often tricks of the light. Shh, don't tell anyone. I guess all games are technically. But yes, that allowed us to suddenly do some of these cool set pieces where the boat goes by, like you said, or the Ornog is jumping, So it was a combination. Honestly, it probably started with dragons because some of that tech got used for theater. Theater gave us flight paths, which allowed us more pathing. The boats are using a similar tech. And then the idea of dropping a guard on a horse is another tech request. So yeah, it's just little bits and pieces we just continue to add to the game. But yes, suddenly it became really possible, honestly, in High Isles where we really started to see that come out.
Did that also prompt the house guest side of things, except obviously with a player path in it rather than yourselves? Is that part of that transition?
No. Let me say, to my mind, no. They're two different kinds of tech.
Yeah, but that was also new tech, but different. Yeah, that was developed differently.
Interesting.
And everything else, yeah. I also give a big shout out to Owen, who's one of our head kind of encounter guys, who really took that tech and ran with it and discovered lots of cool ways to see exactly the various ships sailing around and the monkey swinging and stuff. Like he kind of took that on as I wouldn't say a personal project, but he was kind of the person who brought it to the forefront with a lot of that stuff and was able to get in the game and then has shown the team how to do that. And I think that's also it too, is as the team is learning more and more, you're going to see more of that type of stuff, hopefully. Just fun, and it just makes the world feel more alive in general. So
even the skybox has got better though over time.
That I can't speak to, except for the art got better. I don't know.
It did. Well, you had the skybox kind of feel when it came to the dolmens, but then when you introduced dragons, different elements of dragons, and then obviously the Harrow Storms and stuff like that, it got a lot more dramatic.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's a lot of us have been working on ESO for a long time, and as we continue on, we are always furthering our skills, I should say, and trying out new things and learning more and stuff like that. So that never ends, and I'm glad that you noticed that type of stuff, because that means our progress is showing and paying off, which is awesome.
Yep.
I basically screamed the first time I saw a ship moving in the distance.
Yeah.
It's like,
Awesome.
"Ah, it's moving! There's a ship!" And then the little dude doing his little song going towards it and going,
Gondola was
Yeah, I
the
know.
prototype. We
Good.
argued a lot about that. It turned out freaking awesome, and that was a work of audio, animation, theater, and counter. There were a whole bunch of teams that came together to do that. Yeah, they turned out freaking great.
It's a really
Yeah.
magical moment the first time you like hear him singing in the distance, and you're like, "Hang on, that's getting closer," and then you realize he's going round and round the aisle near the gaming hall. So yeah, I go on about the moving ships all the time on stream, and my regulars are like, "Here she goes again about how cool the moving ships are," but it just
Same.
makes it feel much more alive.
Immersion.
Maximum immersion.
Yeah. I mean,
Maximum
it's
immersion.
it's funny because like a lot of those little things really they add up and they pay off, and it seems like when you do them, when even like internally when we're doing them, you do a little bit at a time, and you're like, wow, this is a lot of little things. But when it all comes together, yeah, it really helps make the world feel alive, which is what we're striving for. So
I do think things like that make a massive impact to how a player sees the world anyway, because obviously, I mean, loads of different gamers have lots of different perspectives of what they see and how they feel, but running down a hill with trees around it, all right, not to take anything away from the design because it's awesome, but some people will walk down it and go, oh, it's just some trees, let's run. And then all of a sudden a monkey swings past your face and you just, oh, a monkey. That little moment there, it feels like exactly what you're looking for sometimes. Like it just breaks up whatever it is that you think you're not distracted by and goes, oh, hey, what's that? And honestly, Elder Scrolls, even the single player ones, have always managed to grab your attention while you are already focused on doing something else. Like a side quest is never done straight away because you get distracted by a cave. And now running through the woods, you got things swinging above your heads. It's actually pretty cool that you still maintain that kind of interest in the smaller details, even outside of the bigger stuff.
no, thank you. Yeah, no, that's important for us for sure. It's like you were saying. I mean, you explained it perfectly. It's a way to get invested in the world and not feel the same just running by trees and stuff like that. You're like, oh, I'm running through nature. When little vignettes like that pop up and kind of catch your eye. It's the same reason like we have fun little things that you find along the road and stuff as you go along, and interesting characters and little scenes like the frog eating at people and stuff like that. It's a fun way to break up the kind of just running around questing, killing things, and give you a feel like it's a world that's actually lived in. And like I said, that at the end of the day, that is our goal.
At the end of the year when they have, sometimes they do stats of how many world bosses have been killed.
Yeah.
I really hope one of them is how many times has that Spriggan been kicked.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I want to.
We might have to ask DI for that info. That's all right.
Yeah. I'll tell Jess that and see if they can pick BI and maybe get that in one of the infographics.
I definitely want to know that because that poor Spriggan is going to get constant.
I know. It's just firewood. We should have just called it firewood, and just like you kick firewood into the lava. So, cool. Anything else before we wrap up?
I can't think of anything. You've done a really good job at saying everything I would have asked.
Yeah.
I'm
I guess
still
what are you
waiting
most
for a
proud
mammoth
of?
mount.
Yeah.
What are we most proud of?
Yeah, what are both of you most proud of about this DLC? Like, what's one thing you're like, we did good there. I'm really proud of that.
Oh, geez, let me think about that a sec, Jeremy. While I'm thinking.
It's honestly, I was going to say it's a small thing, but it's totally not a small thing. It's a giant thing. The volcano. The volcano is an actor in our story. In High Isle and in Galen, depending on what quest progression you have, there's certain points where you can look at the volcano and it changes what happens. Also tied to that are the little teeny lava event as well as the world event. Those are all things that are supposed to reflect the state of the changing world that's happening. So I am hopeful, and I haven't seen it yet, that at some point I'm going to be watching someone playing and I'm going to see them see the last scene in the capper and have completed the entire change throughout of the volcano, because it goes through a number of different permutations. Meaning it starts off only mildly active, and then it gets really freaking active, and then maybe there's another state somewhere.
Spoilers.
The way that you've managed to do that in an MMO is actually pretty nuts, because that's something you'd expect to see at a single player game where it's only from your perspective. Being able to have individual players at certain parts of a story see different things. I mean, that's actually quite nuts to still be achievable, especially to that extent.
Yep.
Yeah, it requires a lot of coordination. I think the end result is really cool. But yeah, I'd say I'm proud of that accomplishment. I hope I see someone recognize it. There was a similar point where I saw people finish Ribbon Spire, and they hit that point where the tower is gone. And I saw the gasp, and I saw that moment, and I was like, that made it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
That was also a Jason special, too.
Yeah, that was my quest line. Yeah, so back in the day when I actually designed Quest. But I would say for me, definitely Jeremy touched on one of the major ones, and I kind of hinted at it, like the final quest in the bonus / capper quest is crazy. It's really cool. But other than that, I think for me, this is gonna sound like I say this a lot, but the characters in this DLC, I'm really happy with how they turned out. I think our writing team and our designers did a really good job of just telling their stories and kind of how they're all integrated amongst each other and kind of their own relationships that they have, and as well as our new character that we introduced from the prologue, who plays a major role. I very much like that character. The team, I think, also fell in love with that character, and that I know that's kind of it's more lore fictiony, but and I'm proud of a lot of things that the team did this release. As the lead, I'm always proud of the team, especially when we get to this point and everything's come together and we're finally getting out the door. But yeah, I think the story and the characters, I think we did a very, very good job. I'm very happy and proud of everything the team did. So that's my answer.